So Robert, I was so anxious to get you back for a part 2, just so that you could continue to talk about going into the marketplace. You talked about when you first started with the coats and how you incorporated your relationship with furriers and the coats, buying coats off the rack.
Right.
But you also indicated that, you know, sometimes when you buy coats off the rack, they may not be available in the size you need.
Right.
Or the customer may have different dynamics. He might be a 46 long, but have 38 sleeve length.
Right.
So, you know, you trying to figure out now how to get that coat situation more to it fit, so it can fit your needs.
Yes.
And so tell me how you were able
that came about.
How that came about.
Yep. So I had a friend who I went to college with, and he came to visit me when I was working in Hong Kong. Stayed about a week, and I took him to go and get custom suits and shirts. And after that, he said, "I think I want to take this. I want to make this into a business myself back in New York." So he actually started his business way before I even thought of saying I'm going to go out on my own and do this.
Right.
So the first person that I called was him. And I said, "Hey man, you know, I've been doing the coats, but I need them to be custom. I need some of your, manufacturing, contacts." Gave him right to me, and then from there started to build the relationship myself. And for me, I've had a long history with Asia. Right. I lived there twice. I love Asian culture, and so it was just natural for me to work with them.
Right.
Wasn't always easy, all right. But once you start to build those relationships, it becomes easier. And so from there, I was like, okay, now I'm going to offer custom, where you can choose the color, right, of the coat. Again, right. In the first half, I talked about process efficiency.
Right.
It's not all of this. Well, can you make this with zebra and then make it down to my? No. This is the coat. It comes in these colors.
Right.
You have these choices of fur. Pick something.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Because when you stick to, a set process, the likelihood of something going wrong is lower.
Exactly.
Whereas you don't, you get problems. So I was like, okay, I need to turn these things around fast. I have to have a process. And that's it. So people will come to me and they say, well, can you do this? And I want this and I want it leather. No, I can't. I'm not that guy. This is what I do. This is what you can get from me. This is kind of what it is. So for about a year, I did only the coats.
Right.
Only the coats. But of course, like I said, my first love was the suits. So I was like, okay, at first I was apprehensive about doing the suits because I was like, okay, if I can't get people in front of me, right, doing business with someone in Maryland or someone in California is really difficult to do with measurements.
Exactly.
But I was like, nah, that can't stop. That can't. I'll have to figure it out along the way. All right. And so then I introduced the suits. And then people it took some time for people to kind of, because they have been used to the coat.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But once they got used to seeing me showing the suits, then the suit business picked up.
Let me take you back a little bit. When you decide to make a relationship with your vendors overseas.
Yep.
Because I was in the shoe business and I did a lot of business in Italy.
Right.
So a lot of the logistics is, first landed, first cost, freight forwarding. Talk a little about now the work that I was doing and importing and exporting I was doing back in the 80s. It's a different world now. And I kind of want you to bring me up to speed as to how that process worked.
Yep.
It's like if you go to Hong Kong, you see something you like, the fabric, whether it's the clothing show or whether it's the fabric show in Hong Kong.
Right.
Talk about that, how you build those kind of relationships and how you get those garments or that product back stateside.
Right. So this is the thing about my business, right? I am all about as easy as possible. So I'm not going to do all of that, right? I'm going to go with, right? So say I have a manufacturer in China.
Right.
Right? They have stock fabrics. They have Italian fabrics. They have British fabrics. They have an assortment of fabrics, right? They're gonna send me, the books. I'm gonna go through them. And what I've learned about people is that people are relatively simple. Most people. And not only are they relatively simple, and I don't mean simple-minded.
No, I understand.
I mean it's simple in terms of
the process.
What they want, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of times people want the same things, and they want the simple things. Like this suit that I have on, big seller.
Right.
Big seller. I just want that.
Right.
I just want that.
Exactly.
So with my business, I've not had the experience to do that. Right. Go to Italy, pick fabrics, bring them back, and all that stuff. I do everything pretty much through the manufacturer, unless it's a client who brings the fabric to me, and even then I'm apprehensive about taking it on, right? Because I've not worked with that fabric before. I don't know how it's going to be finished. I'm very process oriented.
Right,
I like
exactly.
to know what is going to happen at the end.
Right.
So I usually kind of like stick to that. So I will, go through the books. Right, and say, okay, I'm going to turn this into a suit. This is going to be a double-breasted. This is going to be a single.
Right.
This is going to be this.
So you're going through the fabrics.
Right. This is what I'm going to show.
Right.
And what I end up showing is mostly what people buy. And even if someone comes to me in person and we sit down and we go through fabrics and things like that, the things that they pick are probably going to be very close to what was shown.
What was shown.
And one thing, I got a really great opportunity to interact with David Lance. If you don't know who David Lance is, he is a clothier. He's been in business probably about 30 years.
Right.
Big celebrities, ball players, CEOs, all of that stuff. And a piece of advice that he gave me is that you don't sit down and let the client flip through the book. When that client walks through the door, you already have the fabrics turned.
Absolutely.
That you're gonna say, this is
right.
I think you're gonna look good in.
Right. You're gonna drive the sale.
You're gonna drive the sale. Right. You're gonna drive the sale. And that probably was one of the most valuable pieces of information that was shared with me. Because before I would just sit down and we flip it through the book, right? And you end up maybe with a one suit sale. Right? Whereas if you show everything's laid out for them so they don't have to think.
Exactly.
That's a way to increase the sale. So really, in terms of fabrics and things like that, I have picked fabrics for myself, right? Like have gone to a fabric store and picked a nice alpaca or something that I was like, oh, this is gonna smack,
Exactly.
Right? And then, but for the most part, it's right from the fabric book, right? And then even with people, like you say, this is a domestic fabric, but this is an Italian,
right?
And this is a British. Okay, well, I don't want the domestic. I want the Italian,
Exactly.
I want the British fabric, and it's like, okay, well that one costs more, but no, that's what I want. People want.
That's right.
Seems like it's not, and it could be the same super number. It could be, but you just say Italian, and that's what they want.
Absolutely.
So what I've learned is that, especially for my client, right? Remember, affordable luxury. I'm within this kind of like this window.
That's
here,
right. That's right.
That client, you show them the things that you think are right for them, the fabrics, you explain it a little bit, you good to go.
That's right. So you're aspirational, but you're reachable at the same time.
Yes. Yes, and that is what I think has been the success of the Welthe guy so far, right? Because it's like, oh, I love what he's doing. You know, he got the whole thing going on, but this is a guy who I know I could sit down and have a conversation with. This is a guy who laughs, he smiles, you know, like this
exactly.
is a very approachable person, and he's not, even though the suits look great and super expensive and all that stuff, he's a very down-to-earth person, and so am I, and that's my client, you know?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah,
so what, in our conversation, Robert, the thing that, everything that you spoke about is like, I'm totally blown away by. But you said something earlier that kind of hits me where I live. And it was something that you learned, and how to set up the multiple sale so that it won't be a single suit. And I love the way you described how you're going to set up the whole presentation that's conducive to a multiple sale.
Yes.
And I want you to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yes. So when people come, when people come here, right? A lot of times it's an occasion, getting married, birthday, someone else's event. Rarely do people come here to buy suits for work. And that is something that has changed in the suit business a lot, right? Before it was all of these people buying suits for their professional careers. Now, the time we're living in, people don't have to go to the office anymore.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of times they're traveling, doing all of these things that don't require them to wear suits. So the client now is I call them the party client.
Right.
You know, whether it's a wedding or birthday or whatever it is, it's the party client, and that's who's looking for suit. So in terms of upsell there, right, you might think, oh, it's very small room for upsell because they are coming for a specific suit.
Right.
Pretty much. Right? But it's the suit. Come on now. You can't get a custom suit without getting a custom shirt.
That's right. That's right. Because you're selling lifestyle as well.
Right. Like you cannot, oh, well, I have the shirt already. Or even if a guy comes to me and says, I just want a jacket. I'm like, okay, well, what pants are you gonna wear?
Right.
Oh, I got some pants already. Are they custom? Nah, I got them from. Come on, man.
Exactly.
You can't wear a this jacket gonna fit you so nice that the pants are not gonna go. Nah, you can't do that.
Right.
You know? So it's like, okay, now you need to get the whole suit. You can't wear a shirt from Macy's. It gotta be custom. It's gotta fit right around the neck. Everything has to, so that is a way to build the look, right? Increase the sale, and okay, well, if you get all these things, I give you a little something, give you a little something off. Because one thing that I've learned as well with this type of business is don't give discounts up front.
Well, absolutely.
Don't give
absolutely.
If anyone comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to come to you, but can you work with me?" No. One thing that I've learned about people is they don't respect free and they don't respect discount. They want the discount, but then they're gonna, say for instance something's $1,000. You give it to them for $500. They're still expecting $1,000 worth of service.
Absolutely. And the thing that I've learned a long time ago in this business, Robert, is that when an item is priced right, you never really have to put it on sale.
Right.
And I think that you've learned that lesson so well. Now, did you ever spend any time like on a sales room floor selling garments?
No, so I've had retail jobs.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
But not selling suits, right? But I did have a job in customer service in Nordstrom.
Right.
So my skill was
which is the top end of customer service.
For sure. But I've just always been this type of person that is going to get you excited because I'm excited.
Well, I'll tell you, that is one of the keys of being a really, really good salesman. I came up in this business where, you know, a good salesman, you know, he's selling or she's selling
Right.
$1 million worth of products
Right.
a year.
Right.
They're making, with commissions, they're making close to $150,000 to $200,000 a year.
Right.
And all of the qualities that they had working years and years on the selling floor, I'm so amazed that you have those same principles
Yeah.
now, and which is one of the reasons why I'm so happy that I got a chance to sit down and talk with you. But I'm gonna let you continue.
But it also comes from
Your story.
finance background.
Exactly.
And being in those sales spaces, because I'm not dealing with thousands of dollars. That's millions and hundreds of millions in bill. It's different,
Right.
And those brands are different, right? They're not gonna chase you down.
Right.
They don't
Right.
have to. You know what I'm saying? So I never. I'm not gonna harass you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm going to give you the benefits of the product, describe the product to you, and that's
That's
like,
it. You're gonna be informational.
I'm going to be informational. I'm not going to be like, you sure? You sure? You sure? No, you don't want it. You don't want it. That's it. You know, for every person that says no, there's another person that says yes.
Yes.
You know?
That's right.
And
That's
what
right.
I found is that the person that buys from you, and this is even how I shop, is the person that I connect with. Right? Because I'm not selling anything that other people aren't selling. But it's that connection with me specifically that helps to close the sale. And it's funny because you're seeing me here in person, right? And you see how small I am, right? People, when people
But
see
you're in wonderful shape, and you make the suits look good.
right.
So
That's the key. And at first I thought that would be a problem, right? Because when you are imagining something, you imagine you in it.
right.
So for me to be, 5'10", 142 pounds and just, I thought that it would be difficult for people bigger than me to see themselves in my products. But I was very wrong.
You were very wrong, Robert.
very wrong.
Because you can take any person,
Right.
man, woman, or child, and you can put a garment on them
Right.
that'll make them look the best that they can be.
Yes, and what I always tell people, because all the guys, they come here, I'm about to lose, I'm about to get back in the gym, I got this gutter, and I'm like, did you start? No, not yet. I was like, you ain't going to no gym. Let me explain something to you. Clothes are something that you control.
Absolutely.
The clothes don't control you. You make the clothes fit your body. You don't make your body fit the clothes.
That's right. That's right.
Once I get them that little pep talk, then then it's like, okay, I feel that, and I get that, and it's all about being comfortable in your skin, and it's a custom product.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a custom product, so it can be made in any size. For you to fit your body and make you look good and feel confident as you are. So it's all those little things that I think contribute to the success of the business.
Right.
Because guys that are 6'6", 300 pounds come.
That's right.
Like, oh
That's
man,
right.
I feel proud.
That's right.
I feel proud because I'm like, okay, this guy, who saw me, here looking, stick thin in the suit, said, you know what, I want to not look stick thin, but I want to look as good as he looks.